In Hollywood, looking rich is more important than being rich. We see these stars with timepieces that are more expensive than your house. But if you look close enough at the dial, the math just doesn't add up. Today, we're counting down 5 celebrities who got caught red-handed with fake luxury watches. Kicking things off at number 5, we have Soulja Boy. Do you still remember Crank That in 2007? It was everywhere, and Soulja Boy was on top of the world. In fact, the money was flowing faster than his YouTube views. So naturally, what do you do with a hit record and a fresh bank account? You flex a watch, of course. The problem was that after a big commercial success in 2007, he and his crew started spending money like crazy. This ended in them buying lots of fake watches to strengthen the social media hype around their wealth. The specific piece that became his most legendary blunder was a fake Audemars Piguet. This was a quartz counterfeit, which is already a red flag because the real royal oak runs on a self-winding mechanical movement. But here's what made this a Hall of Shame entry. The battery had run out, so the watch showed the same time in all his pictures. It was 10:25 all day, every day. FakeWatchBusta revealed the fakes numerous times. To save face, Soulja jumped on Instagram Live to flex a Cartier and a Rolex, claiming they were $30,000 pieces. Not only that, he claimed FakeWatchBusta was just a rejected jeweler on a revenge mission. Nobody bought that explanation. The moral of the story: if your watch can't even tell you what time it is, maybe don't post it. Now think that was bad? Wait until you see the boss who got caught with a watch so rare it literally shouldn't exist. Moving up the countdown, we have Rick Ross. Rick Ross has built an entire empire on the image of extreme luxury. The man raps about Bugattis, mansions, and fine dining. Even his Instagram handle carries the Rich Forever tag. So when you market yourself as the embodiment of wealth, you better make sure everything on your wrist can back that up. Unfortunately, it couldn't. Rosé got busted multiple times for faked iced-out Patek Nautiluses and AP Royal Oak offshores. In early 2024, he found himself in the crosshairs of horology expert Nico Leonard. Ross was seen sporting a green Audemars Piguet Royal Oak self-winding emerald. This is a watch so rare that Nico claimed only 1 or 2 officially exist in the world. One is valued at $41 million and the other at $37 million. When Ross claimed his version was worth only $3.25 million, the math already stopped making sense. Nico didn't mince words, calling the watch a fake and demanding an explanation. Ross's response was, well, classic Rosé. He didn't exactly provide a certificate of authenticity. Instead, he hopped on Instagram stories to call Nico a little piglet and a fat guy in a one-cubicle office. While Ross flexed his car collection to distract the fans, watch enthusiasts noticed that the emeralds on his AP didn't have the fire or the specific setting of a factory piece. On Ross's piece, you could clearly see the claws or prongs gripping the gems. That's a classic sign of an aftermarket job where someone takes a standard steel AP and glues stones onto it. The irony hit differently when people went back to his lyrics. He had famously rapped a line placing a $100,000 Audemars on his wrist, and the watch he was actually wearing couldn't pass a basic authentication test. Listen, when you're the boss, the watches are supposed to be beyond reproach. In this case, the only thing emerald about the situation was the green-eyed monster of doubt. Now this next case carries real weight, because it didn't just embarrass the guy, it nearly took down the Instagram account responsible for exposing him. At number 3, we've got the NBA legend himself, Carmelo Anthony. In 2014, before Melo became a respected watch guy and a partner at Haute Time, he had a bit of a rough start. The anonymous horological vigilante FakeWatchBusta spotted Melo wearing 2 fufus. It was a fake Audemars Piguet and a fake Panerai. On a real Panerai, the crown guard is supposed to have a very specific tolerance. On Melo's piece, the lever looked like it was made of cheap pot metal and had more wiggle room than a rookie's defense. The AP was even worse. The screws on the bezel were misaligned, which is the ultimate sin in the watch world. The drama got so heated that Instagram actually shut down FakeWatchBusta's account after the post went viral. Rumour has it, Melo's sponsors weren't happy about the replica energy. Normally, a real Audemars Piguet Royal Oak price is between $25,000 to $100,000 for special references. On the other hand, Panerai Luminor, depending on the model, sits between $5,000 and $20,000. These aren't small numbers, and wearing fakes of those specific pieces while you're in the public eye as a professional athlete with endorsement obligations was a very expensive problem. To his credit, Melo took the L, leveled up his knowledge, and is now one of the most respected collectors in the league. but the internet never forgets a bad bezel. Now, most of the guys on this list were trying to save a buck, but our next guy actually paid more than retail for a fake. Meanwhile, if you're enjoying this unraveling, hit the like button and subscribe. Now let's get back to the countdown. Next up is Lil Baby. Unlike Soulja, Lil Baby has a rock-solid collection, but even the biggest stars can get finessed by a shady dealer. In 2021, Lil Baby debuted a brand new watch on social media. It was a Patek Philippe Nautilus 40th anniversary watch, which he claimed cost him $400,000. Now let's put that in context. The real Patek Philippe Nautilus 40th anniversary is a limited edition of 700 pieces. It has a platinum case and bracelet, a blue dial with 12 baguette diamond markers, and a commemorative text at 6 o'clock. On the market, authenticated examples have fetched well over $600,000 for an unworn piece. The fake Lil Baby was wearing cost him $400,000. He paid more for the counterfeit than the retail price of the genuine watch, and still didn't get the real thing. The FakeWatchBusta page called it out in a detailed post noting the irregularities. On a real Patek, the craftsmanship is so precise it's almost microscopic. On Baby's watch, the date font was slightly too thin and the bezel was flat. Lil Baby responded on his Instagram story tagging Patek Philippe. He wasn't angry at being called out, rather he was furious at the jeweler who had sold it to him. The jeweler, Raffaello & Co., publicly apologized. He took full responsibility and refunded Lil Baby's money. He tossed in 4 rings worth $70,000 as compensation just to stop the PR bleeding. Now, every celebrity on this list had an embarrassing moment, but the guy at number 1 turned his into a criminal record. Wrapping up our countdown today is Sean Kingston. In August 2025, the beautiful girl singer Sean Kingston was sentenced to 3.5 years in federal prison for a $1 million fraud scheme. Kingston and his mother were convicted of using their celebrity status to buy luxury goods, including high-end watches, through fake wire transfer receipts. But how did it work? Using social media from April 2023 to March 2024, Sean would arrange these purchases of luxury items. After negotiating a deal, he would invite the seller to one of his luxury homes in Florida and promise to feature the seller and their product on his social media pages. When it came time to pay, either Kingston or his mother would text the seller fake wire receipts for the items. The funds were never clear because they were faked, and the sellers would reach out repeatedly but never get paid. A key piece of evidence that sealed their fate was a text message from Kingston to his mother that read, "I told you to make a fake receipt," followed by, "So it looks like the transfer will be there in a couple of days." When federal agents finally raided the home, they found a collection of Rolexes and Cartiers that were nothing more than props. They were used to fake it till you make it in the most literal sense possible. His mother, Janice Eleanor Turner, was sentenced separately to 5 years in federal prison for a role in the scheme. Both are currently serving their sentences. Unlike the other celebs on this list, who might have been scammed by a jeweler, Kingston was the one doing the scamming. This is the ultimate foo-foo story because it shows that when you trade your reputation for a counterfeit lifestyle, the time you end up doing is very real. So, which story shocked you the most? Drop it in the comments down below. And if you want to know which celebrity actually has the most authentic and insane collection in the world, click the video on your screen right now. See you in the next one.